Alright, so for project 2, this project definitely had a lot less steps, so I felt like it was simpler to be able to complete in that aspect. But I also think that it took a little bit more time to figure out what you were actually going to record for the sounds of civilization, the sounds of something that makes noise. So I tried to find stuff that we're so immune to because we hear it every day, or it's normal, like it's background noise, but it's noisy. So for that project I tried to find stuff that I wouldn't normally react to. So for instance, my something that makes noise is actually when you push a door that's for handicapped, so it's an automatic door, and that sound that it makes, that motor cranking, and how much harder it is to push the heavier it is to push. I was really proud of how that turned out. The sounds before our classroom, that was really hard for me to get off of my phone, because I recorded it as a video, that it kept telling me my file size was too big to email, and I didn't know how to get that off, so I had to re-record it and try a bunch of different ways to actually obtain that video. And I feel like for the most part the pictures went really well. The only thing that I have issues with is with my portrait. I realized afterwards that there's a bad shadow in the background, that if I were to retake it, I would try and eliminate that shadow from it because it's kind of distracting from the photo. Also, I would try to center that a little bit better if I had the opportunity to do it again. And for the most part, everything seemed pretty simple. It was kind of awkward for me to take pictures, like the candid photos. I tried to take them briskly as I was walking past, and then go introduce myself, and then look at the photo and see if I needed to take pictures for a little bit afterwards while they were just chatting or whatever. And that tended to work better. I know I had talked to a couple girls, and I had taken the photo before, but they didn't know that I had taken the photo before. And they told me that they felt much more comfortable with me being like, just continue what you're doing, and like waiting to take the photo until they were actually reacting and responding the way that they were prior to. But I still used the photo that I took before. I tried to make them comfortable with the fact that I wasn't just like taking pictures of them. So that's probably the most issues that I had with it, was just me getting out of my comfort zone, and having to really search for the sounds of nature, the sounds of civilization. For the most part, I think that this project was fairly successful. It was fairly easy to put into the website. I think I'm finally getting a hold of that. The software that we're using is different. I'm in a broadcast announcing class at Parkland, and so we use a different system to edit sound and record sound. So I feel like we could use it for both, but I understand wanting to learn how to use Premiere here. So that was kind of different for me to get used to because they're both fairly similar, but I feel like one of the editing equipment is a little bit easier to use. But all in all, I think that I did fairly well with this project. I had fun with it. They all take a little bit of time and like thinking and like planning, and always having, like, I found that whenever I'm working on a project, I try to always have my headphones on and always be ready to record, because if I hear something then I'm like, oh, I instantly want to catch that. So I've gotten better with always being ready, not wanting to miss out on anything when I'm looking for a new project.